we think about wildfires, we think about how they might affect us or the forests. What we don't consider is that while we can control the air we breathe by staying inside or masking up, and we can plan for evacuations, animals aren't so fortunate. Animals are often the invisible victims of fires. For example, we don't have a very good idea of how many animals were affected by the campfire, wild, domestic, or otherwise, showing how animals are often invisible in this kind of situation. In terms of how to keep your animals safe, it can be complicated. Sure, you can keep your pets inside, but you have to walk them eventually. In contrast, farm animals, livestock, and wild animals, like bears and horses, are always outside and don't have anywhere to get away from the smoke. These animals are getting smoke in their lungs, and, in the case of wild animals, their habitats are also being burned down. Or, for farm animals, their owners are leaving them behind when they evacuate. Over the summer, I went on a short road trip with my dad, and the places that we drove through on our way home just 3 days later were completely scorched. This looks devastating to us, but imagine what it must be like for these animals that had homes in those forests or in the ground underneath them. Now, let's take a closer look at how California wildfires affect animals and what we can do to help. Fires affect animals mainly through effects on their habitats, food sources, and their ability to breathe properly. There is also the immediate danger, of course, of outrunning the flames and smoke. A bear whose paws were burned in the North Complex fire earlier this year was recently reintroduced to the wild. However, not all animals are so lucky. For example, imagine you are a bird who commonly lives in trees, like a chickadee. Also, smoke travels fast, making it really simple for it to fill up things like caves and tunnels. If there are animals living in these caves and tunnels, like groundhogs or bears, it would fill up with smoke, and thus suffocate the animals inside, or smoke them out and suffocate their young. Some of the most commonly found animals in California are black bears, as well as birds, wolves, deer, coyotes, and many, many more. These animals all live in places that are very specific to their needs and habits, and even the slightest change can be the end of the world for them. This means that if a lot of these animals die, it can throw off the balance of the entirety of the place that they live. Finally, let's look at domesticated and farm animals. These animals are often left behind because their owners either can't take care of them when they evacuate, can't bring them where they are going, or simply have to leave them behind in the panic of the moment when they have to leave really fast. Now, let's look at a couple of ways that you can help these animals. First of all, putting out food and drink for migratory and non-migratory birds can be very helpful because it means that they have a reliable food source for when they can't find any food where they normally would because, well, it's burned. Secondly, you could try fostering or adopting animals. Just make sure to check a microchip or any other identification that the animal might have before adopting or buying it, because it can help you track down their original owners. Similarly, to help wildlife, you could try donating to an organization or shelter near you that is helping animals who are scared, injured, or lost. Thank you very much for listening and your time.